Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast blood.
What's up, gang? Welcome to the G.R.I.N.D. Simon Arias here. Get ready, it's a new day. What's up, gang? Welcome to another episode of the G.R.I.N.D. Get ready, it's a new day. And today we're going to talk about the mindset of the culture that I've tried to build throughout my main business, which is mind, body, and spirit. You know, if you spend any time in our organization at all, you'll hear this come up all the time. Mind, body, spirit, mind, body, spirit. What does that mean? And, you know, how can that be applied is what we want to talk about today, because I really do believe, for me, that had it not been for this on my journey, you know, over the last 16 years in business, I know there's points in my journey where I would not have made it. I mean, I could point back to that, because to me, it's not enough to just be what the world thinks is successful. I wanted to be successful in all areas, even when I didn't have a ton of examples in every single area growing up. I wanted to be successful in a marriage. I wanted to be successful as a father. I wanted to be successful with my body. I wanted to be successful in the business. I wanted to be successful with serving others. And in order to do that, I've learned you can't pour from an empty cup. And I think there's so many people running around right now wondering why they're getting so frustrated, you know, wondering why they don't have any patience, wondering why, you know, their life feels like they're falling apart. And I feel, from what I've learned, saw in myself and others, you know, the example is you can't pour from an empty cup. So, you know, in order to do something great, you got to do it with others. You know, when you hear people saying, well, I'm a self-made man, you know, I don't understand it. I don't believe it. I don't know if it's possible. You know, somebody has to run the podcast behind the scenes. In order for us to have a podcast, there has to be people that put these microphones together. There's always training partners. Even in an individual sport, you have training partners. You have people that do things for you. And so there really is, if you're going to do something great, there's not going to be a self-made scenario. And when you start dealing with numbers of people, it's about serving other people and helping other people. And you're not going to be able to pour into other people if you're pouring from an empty cup. And so the more people you got to serve, the more I think you got to put into your cup. The more you serve others, the more you're emptying yourself. You drain yourself, and you got to continuously fill yourself up. And so mind, body, spirit is the routine. It's a lifestyle. It's not an event of developing your mind, developing your body, and developing your spirit. I don't care if you're 70 years old or 20 years old. If you ain't growing, guess what? You're dying. So it ain't some, well, yeah, I've already done that, or I'm old, or you don't understand, or I know that, or, you know, any of that stuff. You know, there's that old saying and quote that says, you know, when you think that you know everything, you really don't know anything. And when you realize that you don't know anything or know everything is when you start to realize and actually know something. And so it's a continuous learning process. And so for me, mentally, what do I mean by mind, developing your mind? To me, it's books, audio books, podcasts, motivational things, and things on YouTube, you know, videos that you can now pour into yourself. And I like to do that in two ways. One is designated time, set time in my schedule that I'm going to focus on these things, and then random times that other people waste. So while I'm in the shower, often I listen to different things, books, audio books, stuff like that. Brushing my teeth, drying off, packing a suitcase to travel, driving to and from the office, you know, anything like that. I'm trying to find time that I already have that is wasted time that other people waste in order to get those things done. I'm a firm believer in these things need done in the morning. You know, if you're in a club industry or something and you ain't getting up till 11 because you were out till, 3, 4 o'clock or whatever, and that's your job, that's what you got to do, then to me that 11 o'clock to to 1 o'clock piece would be like the first thing you do. I compare it to brushing your teeth. So regardless of how busy you are, you still got to brush your teeth in the morning. You can't say you can't brush your teeth 3 times later on in the day and make up for how bad your breath stunk in the morning. And it's the same way for your spirit and your mind and stuff. If you don't get yourself right in the morning, it ain't going to be the same when you approach things that you need to handle, in my opinion, from what I have witnessed personally, if you want to get it all right. If you want to have health in all areas of your life. Because by the time you get done with work, sometimes you're exhausted and you don't feel like pouring into yourself no more. You don't feel like doing all those things. And so for me, and then you talk about the spirit piece, this would apply to any religion. Doesn't matter. I'm a Christian. You don't have to be. You don't even have to be a believer, but you got a spirit. You got a soul. Some people may tend to those things in different manners, in different ways, but your mind and your spirit are connected, but they're different. And so for me, spiritually, what do? I get up in the morning and I read scripture in the mornings more often than I don't. Not every single day, but most days I'm reading scripture in the morning, at least a proverb, 1 chapter of Proverbs, whatever the day is. So if it's the 2nd, I read chapter 2. If it's the 10th, I read chapter 10. And I use the New Living Translation, NLT, New Living Translation, so you can understand it. One of the things that used to discourage me when I first started out, and I wasn't like I was a big believer or huge Christian or something coming into this process. This is something that was taught to me, that I had faith in, that I believed in, that I watched change my life over time. And so what I got frustrated with in the beginning is I didn't understand everything, all the words. And so the New Living Translation helps. English Standard Version helps. And I get it on an app on my phone, Holy Bible app. It's free. And then I highlight things that stand out to me. And I consistently, that's my brushing my teeth. So I do that almost every single morning. And I've done that for 16 years straight. Probably 90% of the days. Same thing, Proverbs, just like brushing your teeth. And then I'll add in, prayer, listening to pastors, Joel Osteen, Stephen Furtick, T.D. Jakes, just to name a few. I'll throw those in when I start getting bored from different things. And then I try to make sure that I'm in prayer every day also. So that's the spirit piece. And then the body. I'm doing something physically 6 days a week, whether it's boxing, jiu-jitsu, grappling, or weights, or yoga, something 6 days a week, almost always in the morning, except for Mondays. I'll double up sometimes. I'll do, usually like jiu-jitsu in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. And then afternoon, I'll take some of our team and we go work out and hit the weights after our agency meeting before we come back for the second shift. And so your body, what are you putting into your body? How are you eating? This is the only body you got. So if you need your body to run at peak performance, I see people that are tired all the time, and they think it's because they're getting old. They think it's because they're so tired, they're exhausted, they're working so hard. And usually it's not. Usually it's your body is not being treated properly. You're not focusing on your sleep. Are you getting good sleep, proper sleep, enough sleep? You're not drinking enough water. You always see me with water. It's a constant hydration process. Your body's made up of mostly water. And so being hydrated causes people to, not hydrated, it causes people to be lethargic and lack energy and have headaches and, stuff like that. People usually overindulge in caffeine and think that's going to give them energy, and it ends up being a crash when they need the energy the most. And so taking care of your body is the only body you got. What do you want your body to be like at 50, 60, 70 is how we're taking care of it right now. So pouring into your body, and then it's all scheduling. How do you do that? It's like, man, that sounds good, Simon, but I don't have time. Well, we all have the same amount of time. We got 168 hours. You're just not prioritizing your time. What is more important than taking care of your health? Because if you die tomorrow, whatever it is mission you're on, you're done. And if you ain't healthy and you're sick, you know what it's like when you're down for the count and you're so sick. Imagine that being your life. And so you don't have time not to. Like, you have to take care of yourself. You're going to be better and more efficient in whatever it is that you do if you take care of yourself. So how? For the people that want to, that can buy into this, how do you do it? You schedule it in. You put it in your calendar, in your phone, and you schedule it all in on a calendar app. And if I can do it, you can do it, because I'm horrible with technology. And you say, I'm going to work out from this time to this time, or I'm going to do this from this time to this time. You plan your whole week out in advance. And then it's start working on your discipline. It's doing what you wrote down in your comfort zone when things get uncomfortable and you don't feel like it, finding a way to still do that. Maybe partner up with somebody that's down to double up with you and do it together to get yourself in order. But scheduling those things in is going to be critical. And understanding that internal growth precedes external growth. You know, a lot of times people want to grow outside, so they're so focused on what it is that they're trying to grow that they neglect their mind, their body, and their spirit. And so eventually those things end up imploding. You know, sometimes people, you know, you'll hear people say, you know, there's a quote that says, talent can get you to the top, but your character is what keeps you there. And talent could take you to a place that your character can't keep you. And so you could blow up. You know, often, like whenever you see things or people or businesses blow up and then crash, in my opinion, what I've seen is it's a lack of mind, body, and spirit in the individuals that blew up and got to the top. It always ends up usually being the problem. They weren't focused on their internal growth. So personal life issues start happening. All these other things start happening. Excuse me. So that internal growth piece is what's going to be huge for you. And so whatever it is that you're focused on right now, ask yourself, have I put such a priority on that I've neglected to develop myself? Because that's going to be huge to get you to where you want to go. And then I think it comes down to your daily routine. Its success is found in your daily routine. You'll never change your life until you change something that you do every day. You know, one of my favorite authors says, leadership develops daily, not in a day, not overnight. And so your body won't get to where you want to be overnight, but you got to do it daily. And so can you commit to a daily routine, just like a baseball player? You ever see a basketball player get up to the free throw line and they just do the same thing every time? If they dribble it 3 times, spin it, and then shoot, that's what they do. They dribble it 3 times, spin it, and then they shoot. What is your daily routine like an athlete? You should have some rhythm to your life. This is what I do. If you don't have a daily routine, then your life is going to be in scrambles all the time. If there's no planning, organization, game plan, rhythm to what it is that you do, your life will get all wild and out of whack, and you'll wonder why and what the heck is going on. And so I want to encourage you to have a daily routine that puts the emphasis and priorities on taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. After that, financially is going to happen. After that, it's like the glue to everything that you want to have happen to you. And I've watched this start to play out, and it's such a beautiful thing. You know, it was passed on to me from Jim Surace, Marcus Smith, some mentors that I had when I started out in business. And now I'm watching it play out into young people and older people. But specifically, I'm thinking of a few young people in my organization where, you know, they're making amounts of money that are just abnormal. You know, I got a 21-year-old that made $500,000 in the last 2 years at 21 years old. So that's 20 and 21 years old. It's a lot of money to handle. Usually that blows people's lives up. And he's teaching mind, body, and spirit. They're able to I have some successful young people keeping it together in life. And they'll tell you the glue to it all is paying attention to filling their cup up, consistently developing themselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. And there's people that have been here for 15, 20 years doing the exact same thing. It's the whole mind, body, spirit, buying into developing the whole person. Even if I'm coaching other people and other athletes. The thing that you want to do is take care of the person. If you take care of the person, then they'll take care of the business. They'll take care of the team. They'll take care of everything else. And so it's, how can I develop this person to be a better mother, better father, better wife, better sister, better son, better friend, better mentor, better everything, because they're in our presence, because they were here with us. And that, you do that by making that person a better person inside and out, by developing, themselves, their values, and things that'll carry them and be the foundation for the rest of their life. So hopefully this was a decent explanation for you, and encourage you out there to continue to grow yourself on the grind, on the hustle, on the mission, because we're always draining ourselves when you're on the grind and on the hustle and on the mission. And I just want to encourage you out there that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Make sure you're taking care of yourself so you can take care of everything else that you got to take care of. And if this helps you, just like every other Grindcast, if this helped you at all, please share it with other people so we can impact more people. And I can't thank you enough for the time that you invest into joining us on the Grindcast. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Grindcast. Get ready, it's a new day.
Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast blood.